Good evening. Thank you for joining us this evening as I call to order the 112th regular session. I'll be giving the invocation. We'll have the pledge to the flag. If you would please stand and join us. As election time is upon us, let us choose leaders that have the best interests of the citizens at heart, who listen more than they speak, and who act on their behalf for the betterment of all. God of mercy, our nation is in a time of great transition. With all the injustice and fear in our world today, we ask you to inspire us and guide us as we participate in the upcoming presidential elections. We seek a government that upholds and protects human rights and justice for all its citizens, regardless of race, class, gender, or religion. In gratitude for the right to vote, we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Some quick rules of procedure. We'll be following the ones effective on January 21st of 2020. If you have a cell phone, please mute it or turn it off, as I am doing mine right now. All correspondence or distribution to elected officials should be provided to the city administrator this evening, and should include a copy for the city clerk for inclusion in the official records. Our meeting schedule in November. There'll be no meeting next Tuesday, as it is Election Day. On the 10th, we'll meet with the Washington County delegation, supposedly at noon. On the 10th also, we'll have a work session at 4 p.m. On the 12th, we'll have an informal orientation session at the Borough Box. On the 17th, we'll have a regular session at 7 p.m. And on the 23rd, the oath of office is to be administered to the new administration. On the 24th will be the very first work session of the new administration. We'll announce all those times as we draw closer. Citizen comments, if you sent in any comments. Scott, I'm not sure if we did.
No, we didn't get any.
We didn't receive any. All right, is there anyone here who wishes to speak this evening? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the minutes. We'll need a motion to adopt the minutes of September 1, the 15th, 17th, 22nd, and the 29th.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for the approval of minutes as presented for the mayor and council meetings held on September 1, September 15, September 17, September 22, and September 29, all 2020.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, hereby move that all the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Kristen? Approve of an ordinance landmark overlay for the Sailor House.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move that the mayor and city council approve an ordinance for a landmark overlay on the Sailor House located at 371 Dynasty Drive in Kiwanis Park.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approve of an ordinance, NP Hagerstown Industrial LLC, easement for sanitary sewer lateral.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for the approval of an ordinance to grant an easement to NP Hagerstown Industrial LLC for the installation of a private sanitary sewer lateral through the right-of-way of Vazel Boulevard.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Approval of an ordinance, acceptance of donation of real property, stormwater pond on Professional Boulevard.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for the approval of an ordinance accepting the donation of approximately 10.7787 acres of land from the Washington County Commissioners of Washington County, Maryland, to the city of Hagerstown, consistent with the agreement as to Professional Boulevard approved by mayor and council on April 28, 2020. The city will assume ownership and maintenance responsibilities of the regional stormwater facility on or about July 1, 2027.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under new business, introduction of an ordinance authorizing the sale of property located at 170 West Washington Street.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for the mayor and city council to introduce an ordinance authorizing the sale of two city-owned parcels located at 170 West Washington Street to 170 West Washington Partners LLC for the sum of $1,000. The sale will provide the opportunity for approximately $1.1 million of private investment for mixed-use property redevelopment. The sale will be in accordance with all terms and conditions outlined in the attached purchase agreement.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introduction of an ordinance, 352 Summit Avenue, quitclaim.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for the introduction of an ordinance to quitclaim a triangular piece of land and an unimproved alley right-of-way at the intersection of Surrey Avenue and West Memorial Boulevard. This land and the alley right-of-way have been determined to be no longer to be needed for a public purpose.
Second.
Discussion?
Did we get an answer to Councilman Alshire's question about the other property owner at the edge of that triangle?
Yeah, we contacted them, and they don't have any interest in it.
Okay.
Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introduction of an ordinance amending Chapter 82 discriminatory practices of the city code, updated personal protections.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the mayor and council introduction of an ordinance to amend Chapter 82 discriminatory practices of the city code. This amendment will repeal and replace Article 5 discrimination in employment in its entirety to revise the city code as a result of updates regarding personal protections in federal and state legislation.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Introduction of an ordinance, acquisition of real property for the urban improvement project.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move to introduce an ordinance for approval of a property acquisition agreement to acquire property known as 43-53 West Washington Street, a portion of 55-59 West Washington Street, and a portion of 50-58 West Antietam Street. Acquisition of these properties will allow for the completion of the plaza and cultural trail from Antietam Street to Washington Street.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of resolution to renew a user agreement with the Hagerstown Fairgrounds Softball Association.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for approval of a resolution authorizing the renewal of the user agreement between the City of Hagerstown and the Hagerstown Fairgrounds Softball Association effective January 1, 2021 through December 31, 2023. This agreement shall automatically renew for 2 additional one-year periods unless either party gives written notice of non-renewal to the other party at least 90 days prior to the end of the then current term.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of resolution to renew the user agreement with the Hagerstown Police Athletic League.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for approval of a resolution authorizing the renewal of the user agreement between the City of Hagerstown and the Hagerstown Area Police Athletic League effective January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2023. This agreement shall automatically renew for 2 additional 12-month periods unless either party gives written notice of non-renewal to the other party at least 90 days prior to the end of the then current term.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of resolution to alter traffic flow in alley 1-76 and alley 1-77.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move to approve a resolution to alter traffic flow in alley 176 as a one-way southbound and alley 177 one-way westbound. This is a request from the Salvation Army and is recommended by the Board of Traffic and Parking.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carries. Resolution fiscal year 2021 community legacy application.
Mr. Mayor, I have a move for the mayor and city council to approve a resolution indicating approval of the city's FY 2021 Community Legacy application to the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development. The application's request, number one, $1.5 million to support an upper floor market rate housing development fund. Number two, $200,000 to assist with CDC acquisition rehab of vacant blighted buildings fund. And number three, $100,000 to support the broadband fit-out fund to facilitate distance learning and job development.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution fiscal year 2021 Strategic Demolition Fund application.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move that the mayor and city council approve a resolution indicating approval of the city's FY 2021 Strategic Demolition Fund application to the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development. The application requests funding to assist with two projects. First, $250,000 for pre-construction costs for the Dolman Black Heritage Museum, and two, $500,000 to support pre-development and development activities in the Jonathan Street neighborhood.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of salt utilization agreement with the Maryland State Highway Administration.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for the approval of a resolution to enter into salt utilization agreement with the Maryland State Highway Administration. The agreement allows the city of Hagerstown to purchase road salt from state highway stockpiles during winter weather emergencies. The city shall reimburse the Highway Administration for cost of the salt delivery charges and overhead.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval to add the farmer's market property at 25 West Church Street to the city's competitive negotiated sale process.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the mayor and city council to approve the addition of 25 West Church Street Farmers Market property and adjacent parking areas to the city's competitive negotiated sale (CNS) process with the goal of transferring the property to the private sector and returning the property to the tax rolls. The property will be added to CNS with a list price of $970,000 based on a recently conducted appraisal. Purchase proposals will need to accommodate existing city offices located in the building and will be evaluated based on both offer price and how the future use of the property will contribute to the vitality of downtown.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Acceptance of HPD recruiting and retention grant.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for mayor and council approval to accept the Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention grant for $30,000. The purpose of the grant is to assist in the Hagerstown Police Department's recruitment and retention program to recruit and retain sworn officers. The program efforts are to attract more qualified candidates that can successfully complete the hiring process in Police Academy and retain existing sworn personnel. Grant funding provides incentives. Acceptance of the grant will not require additional funding to the approved budget and will run through the remainder of fiscal year '21.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of after-school program, BTJ Dance Group.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for mayor and council approval for funding of the BTJ Dance Group after-school program that is held at the Suman Avenue Community Building. The HHA provides a variety of constructive after-school programs. The area youth program runs for the 2021 school year at a cost of $3,500.
Second.
We'll give that to Crystal. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of after-school program at the Parkside Community Center.
Mr. Mayor, hereby move for mayor and council approval for funding of the after-school program at Parkside Community Center. The HHA provides a variety of constructive after-school programs to area youth. This program runs for the 2020-2021 school year at the cost of $18,881.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of contractor selection process for Community Legacy Grant Funded Project for the First Hose Company, 33 South Potomac Street.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move that the mayor and city council approve the contractor solicitation and selection process for the First Hose Company's historic preservation project at 33 South Potomac Street. This project is funded via State of Maryland Community Legacy Grant funding, and city approval of the First Hose Company's contractor solicitation and selection process is required per the subrecipient agreement between the city of Hagerstown and the First Hose Company. The First Hose Company has selected A.V. Roth and Sons to perform the historic preservation work.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of funding for the Community Coalition lobbyist.
Mr. Mayor, I have moved for the mayor and council authorization of the expenditure of $5,000 from the general fund operating budget in order to contribute toward hiring John Favazza with the firm of Manis Canning and Associates as the Community Coalition lobbyist. Other committed partners include the Washington County Commissioners, Hagerstown Community College, Washington County Library System, Town of Williamsport, Visit Hagerstown, Washington County Chamber of Commerce, Chief, and Greater Hagerstown Committee.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of property abatement fund expenditure for demolition of 341 Jonathan Street.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move for the approval of property abatement fund expenditure for demolition of 341 Jonathan Street. The mayor and city council has directed staff to collect quotes from the property owner of 341 Jonathan Street for demolition of the entire structure. The property located at 341 Jonathan Street has been deteriorating for the last several years. The city has been seeking compliance from the property owner by rehabilitating the property or demolishing the property. PCAD has been unable to obtain a court order to demolish the structure due to the courts being closed during the pandemic. PCAD has no estimated time of when a court hearing could be able to be heard for demolition through Chapter 187 Nuisance and Abandoned Property Abatement Ordinance. The property owner has stepped forward with a plan to demolish the property to be compliant with recent orders. This approval would be placed as a tax lien on the parcel in order to gain compliance with city code in recognizing the city's inability to demolish a property through the court system during the pandemic. The total value of the demolition is $17,000. The owner has paid $5,667. The city will pay a maximum amount of $11,333 towards the demolition contingent upon the contractor, SST Enterprises LLC, obtaining approval as a vendor with the city of Hagerstown.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, I just want to note, and I know folks, citizens in general may look at this and read about this and think, well, the city's, paying to help some property owner demolish their property. And here's the reality, and I think I said it the other week. We have these types of properties all over the city. I would commend the property owner and staff for coming to amicable terms voluntarily and proactively during a time when we can't execute the court process that we would otherwise use, which would cost the citizens more to accomplish the very same thing we were going to end up doing anyway. And not only that, but the property owners bringing funds to the table because they recognize the condition of the property and want to work to tear it down. So this is almost like a best-case scenario, and I think that it is incumbent upon us to proactively find these types of properties and attack them first, so to speak, in the future, so that we remove the ones that folks want to work with us to remove and not have to expend time and staff and funding resources on the ones that I know staff have difficulty tracking down property owners and getting taken care of. And so all of these ones we can find in this voluntary, proactive manner. I commend the property owners for recognizing that and staff for finding a solution to make it happen.
Staff is actively putting together a program that could help us in the future with such properties. Correct? Okay. All right. Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. City administrator comments.
Couple things, Mayor. Time's running out. Actually, today is the last day to get your tickets to participate in the drive-through trick-or-treat at Fairgrounds on Thursday, 5 to 9 p.m. You must have a ticket to participate, $5 a carload, enter off North Cannon Avenue, and a portion of the proceeds are going to the American Cancer Society Relay for Life. So that'll be rain or shine. Go to the website or to the Facebook page, and you can get your tickets there. Also, folks, be careful Saturday night with trick-or-treating. We will be aware that 6 to 8 is when most of the trick-or-treating is being done, so police will be aware, the fire department, etc. Just everyone be careful, wear your mask. Even if you have a costume mask, wear a mask underneath, and participate at your own discretion. Rain or shine, whatever you want to do. And next Tuesday is November 3rd, Election Day. Good luck to all of you except for Lou, who gets to sit this one out. And it's encouraging to see the number of people that have gone out to early vote. It's going to be a pretty large election, I think, this year. So that's it for me, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Alshire.
I have nothing this evening.
Mr. Heffernan.
I just wanted to echo what Scott said, and everybody get out and vote. I've been amazed the last 2 mornings at the early voting center at the turnout. Unbelievable. I don't think anybody anticipated this, but I think, you know, one of the only thing I can think, this is my first rodeo. I've never done this before. And I got a comment from somebody on a Facebook message this morning that they said that, you know, a post I had put out, they finally saw what I was, you know, trying to stand for, and they felt bad because they had never heard from me before. And I was thinking, first I felt very bad about it. I thought, what, you know, what more could I have done? I've been to every get together that they've had, Chamber of Commerce, everything else, have done Facebook posts and all stuff. But then I started to think about it. You know, it's incumbent upon us all to understand who we're electing and why we're electing them. And I'm thinking back on myself, people who are running for things like the Board of Education. I have no dog in that fight. I'm not planning on having any more kids, and I don't have any that are in school age. But you know, I think about going through and trying to understand what are the duties, what makes a good board member and a bad board member, and what and then trying to read up everything I could get my hands on the people who are running to try to make a decision as to who would best fit that role. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to do that a lot better, maybe. But anyway, it's been a very interesting experience. My only comment on early voting is I don't blame anybody, because I don't think anybody anticipated this, but man, what a crowd. And the parking situation. We need about 3 of those early voting centers open to handle the volume, but it is what it is. So just kind of maybe wait a day or 2. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you. Emma.
So I debated if I wanted to bring this topic up tonight especially, but as someone who has advocated for mental health, I just feel the need to address it. The president of the Republican Central Committee, Jerry DeWolf, shared a meme on their page on Facebook that was implying Hunter Biden should commit suicide, and it had a picture of him and Hillary Clinton. And just today, another member of that same Central Committee shared another meme about Hillary Clinton killing people, and the caption was, "No, I'm not advocating for suicide." So I just wanted to say, suicide is not funny. I don't know when we got so politically divided that we think joking about suicide is funny. I really hope after this election we can find back to center and stop being so liberal and so conservative or so Republican and so Democrat that we can't agree on anything. But man, if I would have shared that, Jerry DeWolf would be coming for my head. let's be honest. So I just want to say, it's ridiculous. Suicide's not funny. If anyone needs to hear this right now, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. That's all.
I just want to wish everybody in here good luck on Tuesday, and we'll immensely enjoy being an interested observer instead of a on the edge of my seat participant, especially after my 7-vote landslide 4 years ago.
We're gonna miss you, Lou. We're gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. I like sitting next to you. It's very fun.
Thank you.
I don't have anything. Thanks.
Say, because you're using all your time.
I am. I was just giving, this is not over, Lou. There's another time we get to say goodbye. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can't do that tonight.
No,
All
no.
I can say is, I've traveled Virginia Avenue the last 2 days, probably 6, 7 times, and I'm amazed at the turnout at early voting. And my hat is off to those volunteers who are out there in those parking lots. And I tell you, God help you, because you've been tested so far these last 2 days. So go vote. We'll see you next 2 weeks from today. Thanks.